So AI is getting smarter and smarter, right? It feels like every day it can do something new. It kind of makes you wonder, what's left for us? What makes us, well, irreplaceable? Today, we're going to dig into the one thing that really anchors our value, something AI just can't touch. Let's get into it.
All right, just so you know where we're pulling this from, everything we're talking about today comes straight out of Chapter 4 of a really great tutorial. It's by Virtualization Options LLC, and it's all about how to get the most out of AI and human synergy. We're giving you a peek inside that chapter.
And that really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? As these algorithms get better and better at doing our jobs, what's our ace in the hole? What's our secret weapon that keeps us essential?
Well, the answer starts with understanding this fundamental gap in what AI can do. The source material has a great name for it, the AI empathy gap.
Okay, so let's break this down, because this is really important. On one hand, you've got AI. And look, it's brilliant at faking sympathy. It can read text, figure out if you're happy or sad, and then spit out a response that sounds caring. But, and this is the key, it's all just pattern matching. It's seen a million sad emails and knows what kind of reply usually comes next. It hasn't lived anything. But us, humans, we actually feel empathy. It comes from our own experiences, right? The good times, the tough times. And that's what lets us connect with people for real.
And this quote it nails it. AI doesn't feel joy, frustration, fear, or hope. It processes signals and generates outputs. It's that simple. It's a processing machine, not a feeling being.
So, if that's the big limitation of AI, then our greatest strength becomes pretty obvious, right? This is what the source calls our irreplaceable anchor in this whole new AI-driven world.
And that anchor, it's emotional intelligence, EQ. And please, don't just think of this as being nice. It's way, way more than that. Think about it like this. Say you have to give a coworker some tough feedback. The low EQ way is to just blurt it out. But high EQ, that's thinking ahead. It's picking the right moment, phrasing things carefully so they can actually hear it, and really listening to what they have to say back. It's all about navigating that messy human side of things.
And here's the thing that a lot of people miss. AI doesn't make EQ obsolete. It actually makes it more important. As AI handles all the boring, repetitive stuff, what's left for us to do? Well, it's the hard stuff. The tricky conversations, the moments where you need to build real trust, the kind of leadership that actually inspires people. Our emotional intelligence isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's literally becoming the core of our value.
And look, I know this might sound a little feel-good, but it's not just theory. There's actual hard data that shows what happens when you pair AI's power with human EQ. The payoff is huge.
First up, productivity. We're talking a 23% jump for teams that get this right, that blend high EQ with AI tools. I mean, just think about that for a second. Why does that happen? Well, it's pretty simple. The AI takes care of the grunt work, which frees people up to do what humans do best: collaborate, solve tricky problems, and actually support each other.
Or how about this one? 89%. That's how many employees say they're more satisfied with their job when their boss shows a little empathy, especially when they're rolling out new tech. This just proves it. Empathy isn't some soft skill. It's a must-have for keeping your people happy and engaged.
And of course, it all hits the bottom line. Companies that nail this combination, using AI for speed and humans for empathy, see 3 times higher customer retention. Because let's be honest, people don't just buy a product. They stick with brands that actually make them feel heard and understood.
Okay, so that's the data. But what does this look like day to day? In the real world, let's walk through a perfect example.
Think about customer service. It's the perfect showcase. You let the AI chatbots handle all the easy routine questions, right? Where's my package? What are your hours? They can do that instantly, 24/7. But the moment a customer is actually upset or confused, or their problem is really complicated, that's when you escalate to a human. And that person's job isn't to follow a script. It's to listen, to understand, to show real empathy, and to rebuild that trust. That's something only a person can do.
All right, so we get what it is, we get why it matters. So the big question is, how do we actually get better at this stuff? How do we sharpen our own human edge?
First things first, we have to completely change how we think about this. Let's just get this out of the way. Emotional intelligence is not a soft skill. It's not optional. In a world with AI, it is the core skill. It's a strategic capability that makes the whole human-AI partnership actually work.
And the source gives us a really cool, practical way to practice this. Try this out. First, use an AI to cook up a realistic, tricky situation, maybe a really angry customer, or a team member who's lost all motivation. Step 2, practice how you'd respond, but here's the key. Don't just jump in and try to fix it. Your goal is to listen and to validate how they're feeling. I hear you. That sounds incredibly frustrating. Step 3 is just to be authentic. No scripts. And finally, step 4. Think about it. What did you bring to that conversation that an AI just couldn't?
So when you boil it all down, the message is pretty simple. Empathy is not just some fluffy thing that makes us human. In the age of AI, it has become our single greatest strategic advantage. So the real question we should all be asking ourselves is, how are we going to use it?